But yeah, I want to do this one story like a wrestler. So it'd be like, PS3 benefiting from Gears of War!
Hello and welcome to BuzzTV's The Daily News. Welcome. Welcome. Daily News. Daily News.
Hello and welcome to 3D Buzz's The Daily News for August 23rd of 2007, brought to you as always by Side Effects Software. We're going to jump right into some entertainment news. Freeman still developing Rama. Morgan Freeman told the MTV Movies blog that he still intends to make a movie based on Arthur C. Clarke's classic sci-fi book Rendezvous with Rama, which he's trying to launch for years. The book deals with an Earth mission in the 22nd century to find out who is behind the mysterious arrival of a 30-mile-long alien spacecraft that has appeared in the solar system. It's a very intellectual science fiction film, a very difficult book to translate cinematically, Freeman said. At least we have found it very difficult to translate to get ready for a film. He added about the cerebral story, there are no guns, no explosions, although it's fiction, it's all based on pure science. So this brings up the question, if this movie has no guns and no explosions, then how possibly can it be any good? So we'll have to wait and see. Will Justice League of America be all CG? IESB.net reported a rumor that the proposed Justice League of America movie might be a computer-animated movie made with motion capture technology similar to that employed in the upcoming movie Beowulf. The site, citing an anonymous source, also reported that the visual effect house ImageWorks is in the running to provide the film CG, as are Rhythm and Hues and Weta. If the report is true, it would mean that the Justice League of America movie, based on the DC comic series, would not be likely until at least 2009 or beyond, given the time it takes to render complex CG. Moving on to some gaming news, Microsoft fixing Xbox 360 smoking wheels. Along with the Red Ring of Death, this is just one more. Microsoft now reports that they'll be offering a service to retrofit their official Xbox 360 wireless racing wheel, following reports that the thing overheats and starts to release smoke. Microsoft admits that a component in the wheel overheats when the AC/DC power adapter is used to power the wheel. Microsoft said you should contact them for the retrofit and not use the power adapter, but it's fine to just use the battery. There have been no reported incidences of fire, personal injury, or property damage resulting from the component failure in the wheel, said a Microsoft press release. Castlevania is coming to mobile phones in September. Konami is bringing an original Castlevania title to mobile phones due out in September 18th. Order of Shadows is being built specifically for mobiles and features a new storyline and original soundtrack, according to the press release. The game is being made in cooperation with series head Koji Igarashi and will feature the Belmont clan. Finally, haven't seen them in a while. Look for the Castlevania Order of Shadows on T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon, and other major carriers next month. PS3 is benefiting from Gears of War, or so says Mark Rain. He states, quote, now oddly enough, we're a little ahead on the PlayStation 3 compared to where we were at this time on the Xbox 360. And what I mean by that is our code and our level of completeness, and that's because we have shipped a game with UE3 already. So PlayStation 3 is very much benefiting from Gears of War. That sounds silly, but it is benefiting. And at the point that and the point is that we were prepared today for PlayStation 3 than we were for the Xbox 360 this time last year. And the engine is running a little better. He says they're ahead in the frames, and let's not forget a lot more polygons and a lot more materials, a lot more characters, a lot more projectiles. So when you see Unreal Tournament, this pushes the engine a lot harder than Gears of War did. So they've come leaps and bounds over Gears of War, they stated. So I cannot wait to see this coming out. It'll be pretty cool. Mac OS, in redesigned iPods. Several different reports have surfaced over the past couple of days regarding revamped iPods that Apple may or may not have in the works. Other than adding color to the iPod Shuffle line, Apple hasn't done anything with additional iPods this year, and it looks like it's about to change. Apple Insider believes that Apple will release Mac OS X-based iPods in September, citing the unidentified sources. This particular theory has surfaced before, with many believing that Apple will introduce an iPod that looks just like the iPhone, just without the phone capabilities, which will be pretty cool. Moving on to some tech news, NASA is going to launch a photo film library. In an update to NASA archive news posted earlier this week, the space agency has officially announced plans to develop a massive online archive of photography, film, and video from its 50-year history. The archive will be developed under a 5-year agreement with the Internet Archive, which will host the free site and help compile the imagery, according to NASA. The agency said it signed a non-exclusive Space Act agreement with the Internet Archive to develop the project, which will come at no cost to taxpayers. Monster puts kibosh on a rogue server. After malicious attackers pilfered job candidate information from its job seeker database, Monster located the attacker's rogue server and pulled the plug, the company announced Wednesday. But fallout from that episode still remains. The hooligans who loaded a Trojan horse called infostealer.monstrous on the company's resume database got access to job candidates' names, addresses, phone numbers, and email addresses. They weaseled their way in by gaining access to legitimate login credentials reserved for employers via a computer that had been infected with the malicious software. Now, Monster is assessing the extent of the damage, and the company is investigating the number of job seekers who were affected and will be contacting them. Monster is also offering information on avoiding online scams, phishing, and fraud during a job search. A Briton was held over wireless broadband theft. A 39-year-old Briton had been arrested on suspicion of using someone else's wireless internet connection without permission, police said on Wednesday. Officers spotted a man using a laptop as he sat on a wall outside a house in Cheswick, West London on Tuesday. He told officers he had browsed the internet via an unsecure broadband link from a nearby house, Scotland Yard said. He was arrested and later released on police bail to November 11th, pending further inquiries. This arrest should act as a warning to anyone who thinks it is acceptable to illegally use other people's broadband connections, said Detective Constable Mark Roberts of the Metropolitan Police. That is the news for the evening, and I hope to see you guys again tomorrow.
You want to see it? I don't know if you want to see it. You might not. I mean, it is only the most amazing. It's good stuff. True. We can show it. Do you want to see it?
But yeah, I want to do this one story like a wrestler. So it'd be like, PS3 benefiting from Gears of War!
Hello and welcome to BuzzTV's The Daily News. Welcome. Welcome. Daily News. Daily News.
Hello and welcome to 3D Buzz's The Daily News for August 23rd of 2007, brought to you as always by Side Effects Software. We're going to jump right into some entertainment news. Freeman still developing Rama. Morgan Freeman told the MTV Movies blog that he still intends to make a movie based on Arthur C. Clarke's classic sci-fi book Rendezvous with Rama, which he's trying to launch for years. The book deals with an Earth mission in the 22nd century to find out who is behind the mysterious arrival of a 30-mile-long alien spacecraft that has appeared in the solar system. It's a very intellectual science fiction film, a very difficult book to translate.